Hi, it's Laverne Cox. Check out my new podcast, The Laverne Cox Show. We're going deep. Nothing's taboo, nothing to hide. iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts, and it's easy to see why. Listen to The Laverne Cox Show on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Deep.
Get ready for the drama. This is Dave Ryan's War of the Roses, 101.3 KDWB.
A lot of cheaters apparently go to the North Shore. Do you know how many times we've done War of the Roses on KDWB? And it's like, well, they said they were with their grandma for her grandma's 50th wedding anniversary. And no, they were at the North Shore, putting one leg over here, one leg over here. And then it turned out that they got caught cheating. Or they go for a girls' weekend in Duluth. And it's like, what happened on the girls' weekend? Remember the one it was about 5 or 6 or 7 years ago? It was a woman couple. And then they were in the hot tub, and then one of them went upstairs to go to bed, and then one of the women stayed in the hot tub and was making out with another woman in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Nothing
that
good.
That was Lutzen, I believe.
I think it was Lutzen. Nothing good ever happens on the North Shore.
Oh, except beautiful scenery, Dave.
Yeah. Luke has a story about the North Shore, and Luke, I'm kind of giving you a hard time a little bit, but I hope that it's all innocent. But tell me what's going on with you and your girlfriend. And if you remember the 80s, yes, the couple's name is Luke and Laura, but let's talk about what happened with Laura and her trip to the North Shore.
Yeah. So she told me that she was going to go out of town with her friend, Tammy. Tammy's got a cabin up and down on the North Shore, so they were going to go out Thursday and then, come back like early Monday morning, make it a long weekend, So we're going to go out there. There was no cell service, and I was like, that's great. Have a great time, babe. You deserve a great weekend, with your best friend. And so then I was in Menards on Saturday, and I run into Tammy. I was like, okay, hey, Tammy, what happened? Where's Laura? Like, you guys are supposed to be out at the cabin. And Tammy's super confused right now. She's like looking at me, and she's starting to stutter. And then I realized, I was like, oh, she doesn't know about the cabin weekend. And then I leave Menards, and then about half an hour later, Tammy must have called Laura because tipped her off that she blew the story. So because Laura calls me, and then she sounds kind of weird. She sounds a little flustered, and she's like, hey, babe, I just actually needed some space off. I'm sorry I didn't.
So at this point, Laura now knows that her cover is blown.
Clearly.
Is this on Saturday? So she thinks that she's still got a day and a half, 2 glorious days left up at, whatever with her little secret. But the secret's out on day 2. So now she calls you because Tammy called her and said, oh, man, I screwed up your story. I either shouldn't have left home or I forgot or I didn't have whatever. So now Laura's calling you.
But is Laura even at... my question is Laura even at Tammy's cabin? Maybe Tammy didn't know there was a story to bust. To be like... Maybe she had no idea, and she's like, what's going on?
So where did you ever find out where she was?
No, she was still at she's still at the cabin, but she's just like, I didn't know that I needed to report back to you that Tammy couldn't go,
Okay, so she expects you to believe that her friend canceled on this girl's trip, and she's going to go ahead and go anyway, but she didn't think that she, quote, needed to report back to you that Tammy couldn't go. So her story is, if I'm getting this right, yeah, she canceled. But I went up there to spend 4 days by myself anyway. But, yeah, Tammy didn't have a reason when she saw you. She got flustered, but you're supposed to believe that I was really up at the cabin, and you're the idiot. You're the one that's wrong because I need to check in with you on every move. She's either a master manipulator or a great liar or something.
Or it really is just she needs some time alone and she's annoyed that she has to explain that. I don't know.
Isn't it great on War of the Roses how they turn it back on you? It's like, yeah, you found underpants in my shirt pocket. What are you doing going through my shirt pocket anyway?
You have trust issues.
I don't mean to laugh. So she stuck with the idea that she found out Tammy could make it. She drove up to the North Shore, stayed at Tammy's cabin by herself, and that was her plan for the weekend.
Yeah.
Did she come? Let me ask you this one.
I was like, this is fishy. This is real fishy. I don't buy it.
Okay, did she come home when she admitted it, or did she stay up there until Monday like she planned to?
She came back on Monday.
Oh, there's your tell right there. There's your
No,
tell.
I would think if she came home immediately, that would be the tell. Because then it's like guilt and rush back. But if she's sticking to her story, then I would say till Monday, too.
That's a good question. I would think that if she had told this guy, let's call him Zach, that she's going to be hooking up with Zach. Sorry to talk about Zach right in front of you. I don't even know what the guy's name is, if there is a guy. But she had this big, long, romantic weekend plan with Zach, and she doesn't want to come home until Monday, so she didn't come home until Monday. You say that if she was with a guy, she would have been so busted and guilted, she would have come home right then.
I would think so.
You could be right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to get to the bottom of it.
Well, you do, and I think that we can help you out here. So we're going to call, and we're going to say, we're from your cable company or we're from your bank or whatever, and we're going to give you, what should our prize be? Is it dinner again?
It's dinner, yeah.
Okay, dinner. Dinner out for two, and who would you like to invite along with you? And then hopefully she'll say you, but I'd say at this point, even if she said you, that's a little bit fishy because I don't think I'm buying her story. Before we make the phone call, what do you think? Could she be telling the truth? If she was telling the truth and Tammy canceled, wouldn't Tammy's reaction inside the Menards have been, oh, yeah, she went up by herself.
Yeah.
She didn't tell you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel good. I had to cancel or something happened. But Tammy instead was like, all right, what do you think? Who's right? Who's telling the truth? Call me or text me, 651-989-KDWB, or you can text us at KDWB1. Luke, stay there, and we'll be right back. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. So what do you think on War of the Roses before we make the phone call? We got somebody on the phone who's got a comment here, and we'll get to the phone call in just a couple of seconds. We're going to go to Sharice in Cambridge. Okay, so you heard the whole story. What do you think is going on?
I think Tammy is covering for him, or for her, and I think the girlfriend is totally cheating on him.
Yeah, someone pointed out a really good thing, which I kind of thought, which is if there was no cell service, how did she call him?
Ooh, I hadn't even thought about that one. You know what? There's things. This is the thing when you lie, then you got to tell another lie to cover up for it. So I was like, yeah, there's no cell service. Well, then how did you call me? Oh, because I went up on top of a ski lift. You were on a ski lift then. Yeah. Pretty soon the lies get more and more ridiculous. What do you think is going to happen when we call Sharice and we say, who do you want to have dinner with?
Oh, I think she is going to fumble, and I would almost question if she would probably be onto the call because I think more women probably tend to listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it does suck because there's a lot of time we call on War of the Roses and they know exactly who it is. Yep. And that's why we're going to get rid of Fallon. We're going to hire somebody else that has a French accent.
Ooh,
a French accent. Yeah.
Nope.
Sharice, can you do a French accent? We have a job opening over here.
Oh, totally not.
Okay, well, never. There goes that thought. Thank you, Sharice. By the way,
bonjour, baguette.
We are going to talk to Jonathan Fogel afterward to see what you're done. To see what he can take away being a divorce attorney on this one.
Lumiere.
She is lying. I'm looking at text messages. She is lying. She is definitely up to no good. She is a cheating HO. Another one. She's definitely cheating. Okay, well, let's find out. We're going to make a phone call right now on a War of the Roses episode we call North Shore Weekend. Here we go.
A dinner for two will be set up for you based around your schedule, of course. What we like to do is grab the name of the guest that'll be joining you for the reservation. Obviously, we already have your name. So can I grab their name?
Oh, yeah. Let's, Luke.
Oh, you sound like you had to think about that for a minute.
Yeah, I kind of did, but yeah. So yeah,
I know
that'd be great. Thank you.
I know this is none of my business, but why? Listen. I do these all day long, so now I just become very invested in other people's lives. So,
yeah, that's funny. I was kind of seeing someone else too, but I decided that wasn't gonna. Just Luke. Yeah, I had to think about it for a minute, but I'm gonna stick with Luke for that.
Who's the other guy? Again, I know, not my business.
Somebody that I was like sort of also seeing, but you know, it didn't really work out. So,
No, what happened?
Wow. I don't. What happened? Well,
you know what? I apologize. You don't have to tell me anything. It's none of my business. Again, I was just being super nosy, so I'm sorry.
No. It's really fine. No, I mean, you know, it's just I get it. It just wasn't working out. Like we had this like weekend planned, and we went to this cabin, and we just didn't click. Like we just ran out of things to talk about by Saturday afternoon, which like right into the beginning of the trip. So we just sort of like watched TV and like played on our phones and stuff. So it was kind of a letdown, but yeah, I mean it's okay. Better to know now than down the line. You know what I mean? So,
wow, I can't even believe that you'd be more honest with this stranger than you would with me.
Whoa, wait, hello? Are you Luke? Are you on the phone?
Yeah, this is Luke. I've been listening the whole time.
Look,
what's the story? So you were with another guy?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
This is like a total ambush. First of all, like, yeah. I mean, yeah. I was with another guy over the weekend. Okay. I'm sorry I lied, but it didn't. But you heard me. It didn't work out. So you know, it's a good thing because it makes me appreciate you more. Yeah, I miss you. I miss you. So I cut things off with that guy, and that's why I just chose you for this random dinner that's probably not even real. But you should be grateful. I mean, you know.
Okay. Oh, you should be grateful.
Are you grateful, Luke? Are you super grateful?
I'm kind of pissed, actually. I don't.
So let me see.
Well, it's not like we're married.
Okay, let me explain a little bit. You didn't ask, and some people ask, and some people don't. First thing I would have said was, "Who's that woman giving me this survey, and how did you get on the phone?" But I'll explain a little bit. We're KDWB and the Dave Ryan Show, and Fallon and me, Dave, and we got put up to this by your boyfriend Luke because he found out about the trip, and you told him about the trip, and then you lied about the trip and said you spent the weekend at Tammy's cabin alone. But it turns out you were at Tammy's cabin with somebody else, and then it didn't work out. So since you got bored with each other on day 2, you are going back to Luke, and he should be happy about that.
I mean, yeah, look, we're both young. Like, we're both supposed to, like, you know, I wanted to date someone for, you know, just to make sure, like, you were the right one for me, and you are. So this is... Yeah, and like you called me up with like a stranger just to like, that's so lame. Like all of this is very. You should be really grateful that just happy that I'm kidding. I just chose you and I didn't know you were on the phone. So I don't know what the problem is. Okay, I'm sorry. Can we please move on from this? Like seriously.
Yeah, I mean we might be able to get past this one.
What?
I don't know.
What? I've been on twice this morning. Number one, when the lady says she gets stuck at the bagel shop by somebody who works there, that wants to tell her about the time she was on Price is Right. That was when I was wowed one time. And then when he said, yeah, maybe we can work it out this time. Jonathan Fogel, our divorce attorney, has heard and seen it all. And we were talking about what's called dissipation. Is that what it's called when you spend money in a relationship or in a marriage and then your partner doesn't know you're spending? Tell me what dissipation. Good morning, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Morning.
First of all, bonjour.
Thank you, Mademoiselle.
Okay, stop
Monsieur.
it. The both of you, stop it.
You had me at bonjour. I'm done after that. I don't know. So the idea of this War of the Roses made me think of the word dissipation. All right. I know people are like, oh, I'm turning the radio off, fancy legal term, but it's really not.
right? The idea of dissipation is someone spending marital money for something that does not benefit the marriage. So the reason I thought of that in this case is that here you got Laura going up to the North Shore, maybe spending money, right, on a cabin or a boyfriend or something else, and it doesn't benefit Luke in any way. So when they get divorced, all right, these people are married, but what I thought of is I've seen cases like this where people get divorced and they have to pay back the marriage money that they have spent that doesn't benefit the marriage.
Okay, so let's say that Fallon and Jake are, like Fallon is going off and she owns, a spa in Menominee. And she's spending all kinds of money on this spa that she co-owns with another boy. So if she's spending money on, trips or flights or hotels or dinners on some other guy, you then, being the attorney, you find out about it. She's then got to pay Jake back?
Yeah, right, exactly. So if it's benefiting the marriage, so let's say she owns this spa, and there's income coming from that spa, and Jake benefits from that, that's different. But I had a case once where I was representing the husband who was having a whole bunch of affairs, all right, during the marriage. And during the process of the divorce, the other attorney asked us to provide bank statements, credit card statements, things like that. Well, I didn't know about this. All of a sudden, we look at the statements, and it shows that he's buying flights, he's paying for hotel rooms, he's buying dinners, he's buying gifts for all these women that added up to tens of thousands of dollars that then he had to pay back to his wife.
Because it didn't benefit the marriage. Wow.
Correct. Yep. So, and real quick, I know we are almost out of time, but I was just as awed by Luke's idea of getting back with this woman. But I actually had a case where people got divorced and married 3 times to each other.
Oh, my gosh.
3 times. Did it work out the third time, Jonathan?
You know what? After that, I just said, you know what? Don't call me anymore.
Oh.
Okay, call Jonathan, find his number online, or just find this whole website at fogelfamilylaw.com. Jonathan does free consultations, and maybe you're not even sure that the divorce is the right way to go. So maybe it's time to go in and talk to Jonathan, who can give you some legal advice on the whole thing and walk you through the whole process and what to expect. Jonathan, thanks for being on War of the Roses. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. You have a great week.
Thank you so much. Jonathan from Fogel Family Law, Fogel. War of the Roses wrapped up again on KDWB.